Alright, fellow traders, good morning. This is Pete Soros. Today is Wednesday, July 13th, sitting at just around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today what we're going to do is technical analysis on the Euro USD, 4-hour compression on the board. Now what is most important in my technical analysis is first off trending the market. When I trend the market, what I look to do is take the most recent data and trend that data, because what I see happening a lot of time from other traders that I talk to on a daily basis is that they trend. And when they trend, they try to take all the market data. And you can see that right here, there is a very obvious trend in this market down from this point right here. And you can see automatically here at the bottom of the trend wall, the heart line working. But this is what the market was doing in the past, and it's not what the market is doing now. So what we want to do is we want to take the most relevant information, which is the last data here in the market. And we can see that we have this last little piece of information right here. It's a downtrend in the market. So what I want to do is I want to attempt to trend this information. Okay, and what I'm doing is connecting my tops, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bottom and connect that to a support in the market, and we can see that we have a support coming right there in the market, so we want to grab that area. Alright, now the most important thing that we're looking for is for confirmation of the heart line, so that we can confirm that we have indeed found a trend in the marketplace. And what we can see is that once again, I've taken and connected the top being a resistance and the bottom being a support in the market. And what we can see is that we have respect of the heart line here, 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 and right here in the market. And even on this move up above the heart line, we can see that it's bounced right here. So now what we're looking at is we're looking at an overall trend south on the Euro USD. Most importantly, what we can see is that this is an unsustainable trend, and we have seen a massive sell-off. So now what we're anticipating is a retracement to occur, and we can currently see that happening in the marketplace. So now what we want to do is we want to go down to the 1 hour compression. We want to perform some analysis on this so we can find areas in the market where we anticipate that it's going to turn, because being that it is in an overall downtrend, we only want to trade within the direction of the trend, which is down. So what we're interested in is finding where the sellers can be hiding in the marketplace at this time. So before we do that, let's just go down to the 1 hour compression, and let's just go ahead here and analyze what we have happening, what we have seen happen on this pair. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead here and just map out the 1 hour movements that have occurred on the pair, looking for respect of Fibo targets. Okay, and what we can see right here is that we have a nice initial movement on the pair. From that initial movement, we can see retracement with the 61.8. From there, 270 sideways market right here. We know how to trade that, and that is looking for it to exit the way that it entered, down to the 1.270, missing it there by just about 2 to 3 pips. And then a pullback reset of the market, retracement to the top of the trend wall. From here, what we can see is that we have a nice smooth sailing initial movement down here, and we're looking for a retracement of the minimum 382. In this area right here, we have a 23.6, so we're not going to take that. So what we need to do is gather a bit more of information. And now what we can see right here is that we have a nice movement and a pullback right there, so that is definitely what we're going to look for. And now since this market right here, okay, retraced to the 61.8, what we can anticipate is that this initial movement now will retrace to the 61.8. We can see that 61.8 respect from there, also running into the top of the trend wall, so we can anticipate that a sell-off will come in at this point. Let's just go ahead here and see. And we can see that the sell-off came into this marketplace. We had a double bottom, come back up to the top of the trend wall, and from there, we've seen the market take out the 786. Okay, and from the 786, we've seen the market take out the 1.270. Now, what we've seen here occur is that we've seen the market hook out of the trend. Now, the reason why it's hooked out of the trend here is because there was so much volume in this movement down that there was not enough time for the reaction to happen to occur exactly at that 1.270, and the market slipped further below. But what's important here on this 1 hour compression is that we can see a set of twins railroads in this marketplace that are created only by the bankers when they close and reverse their position. So when they're here short on the position, remember, bankers are always fully hedged, always in a currency pair. So here they're short, and here they do the close and reverse because they hit their target. And now what you can see is that this market is going up. So now what we want to do is we want to see what is happening in this current marketplace and where can those sellers be hiding for the continuation of this overall downtrend. Now, what I'm just going to do is going to erase here some of these lines so we have a clear visual of what we're going to be looking at. Okay. Now we're at this point right here. We can see that we ran into the heart line. We had a nice pullback. Notice how that heart line is playing a major role here in the direction of the market. Okay, and now what we can see here is that we can see we have a nice retracement of the 50%. From here, we can see that the market is taken out to 270 perfectly. From here, we're currently resting on a pullback. Okay, so first thing, what we're looking at is we have a 61.8 line right here at the 148.70, which is now overlapping the top of that trend wall. We have 786 on 1.270. Now remember, when we're going counter trend, we don't anticipate that the market is going to pay out that ultimate 1270 fib. So now what we want to look for here is we want to look for PSRs of this movement north from a previous uptrend to look for areas in the market that we can anticipate that this market is going to turn. So what we need to find is previous uptrend within the range that we're looking to turn this market. Okay, so first off, we can see that we have a nice uptrend right here. So what we want to do is take the supports. We have a support right here. Okay, we have a support right here. Okay, and the support up here we're not going to take because it is not relevant at the time. And let's just go ahead and see if we have any further supports in an uptrend. Okay, we don't have any coming right here at this level. So now taking a look here, what we can see is that we have created a lineup in the market, a confluence of events at the 786 and the 1.270. Now that is not a coincidence. That is what the market does, is it creates a confluence at the areas that it is looking to target. So now instead of anticipating that this market is just going to go up to that 61.8, I anticipate that the sellers are going to be sitting here at the 786, overlapping that PSR coming right there, or even potentially at that 1270. But since this is going to be a large hook out of the trend, I can anticipate that it's going to happen here around the 142.30 that the sell is going to come. But overall, what we can see we have done is we have created two potential turn points in the market where we anticipate the sellers are going to be hiding. Now, I will not be shocked if the market comes up to this 1270 and turns from this point, because what it would be doing from this point is it would be resetting this trend. Okay, and since this is an unsustainable trend right here, we can anticipate that to occur and look for that to happen. But also right here at the 786, if we were to see the market take out that line right there, we can also see that that would now be a sustainable trend. So again, what we're looking for is areas to sell, and since we're sitting now taking this down to the 1 hour compression, what will we look for? Okay, how will we look to enter this trade? And the way we would look to enter this trade is the way that you could have entered right here on a counter trend trade, and that is when you see a set of 1 hour railroad or twins just like that. And what you would do is you would open your position right on the open of the next 1 hour candle after the twins has formed. So at this point right here of the 786, if we see a nice green candle coming in like this, okay, and then we see a red candle come in like this, creating a set of railroads right there at the 786, we would open right here on this next candle, place our stop above there, and now what we need to do is look for our targets further below. So we've set up those two key areas that we're looking for the sell-off to occur, either at the 786 to 1270. We've talked about how to grab our entry, and that would be off of a set of 60-minute, 1 hour railroads entering on the next candle. Okay, and now what we want to look for is where we are looking to target and go to in this market. So to do so, what we need first off is that 1 hour initial movement to come into this market. But since we don't have that yet, we want to see, do we have any evidence at this point leading us to believing that this market is going to go further south? So now what we want to do is we want to look for PSRs down below at around this 139 price level and below to see if we can anticipate that this market will indeed turn at one of these points right here, and from one of these points we will look for a sell to come down to around the, or excuse me, below the 138 price level. Okay, remember, we will also take our fib targets from the 1 hour movement once it occurs off of one of these points. So right here, once we get a 1 hour movement and then it pulls back, what we do is shoot our Fibo targets, and we get our Fibo targets below, and we look for overlaps of the PSR. So let's go ahead here and grab the PSRs for this movement and just take a look at what's happening. So to do that, what we need to do is we need to go to a previous downtrend and grab the resistances off of the previous downtrend. So let's just go ahead here and find a downtrend within that 138 price level. Okay, now what we can see right here is that we have a small downtrend in play. So what we're going to do is grab the resistances off of this downtrend, and we can see that we have a resistance point right there. We have a resistance point right there. Remember, resistance is defined as 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Okay, and we have a resistance point right there. So let's just go ahead and see if there is another downtrend within that price range that we need to be aware of that has significant points of support or resistance. And we can see that we have it coming in at this point right here where we have this downtrend in the market. So we want to grab this area of resistance and we want to grab this area right here. Okay, and then everything else except for this point right here has been taken care of by the previous downtrend. Okay, so let's just go ahead here and grab this point right here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead here and take a look at what is lining up here in this marketplace. So first off, what we can see is that this market has stopped at a PSR to the downside, which was conveniently overlapping that 1.270 that we talked about. And you can see how the market came right here within that area of the 138.60 and 138.20 and created a profit taking at that level. And further below, what we can see is now resting in this marketplace is that PSR coming in right here at the 137.80. So this would be the immediate place where we would start to look for overlaps of the new 1 hour movement once it comes in, being at the 137.80 and the 137.44. So what you would look for once again is you would look for railroads on the 1 hour compression start here at either the 786 area overlapping the 240 PSR right there, or at this 1.270 overlapping this 240 PSR. From here, look for the 1 hour railroads, enter on the open of the next candle after the railroad, and then get your first entry, stay in that entry, place your stop above the set of twins railroads. Okay, and then once you get your 1 hour initial movement coming in, once you get the movement coming in and you see retracement, then shoot your Fibbo targets and look for areas where the 1270 is going to overlap with these PSRs below, and then that will be your ultimate target place for the Euro US dollar. So that's what we have on the Euro US dollar. Again, I'm not going to be interested in trading this to the north. I'm going to be waiting for the sellers to come back into this marketplace. I hope you enjoyed that video. Until next time, folks, good luck and happy trading.